and welcome to yet another episode of Doctors In. Today we have with us Dr. Arup Chakravarti, who have been specialized in cataract surgery. Let's welcome him to the program. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
First of all, could you tell us your experience in the field of cataract surgery?
Well, I have been performing cataract surgery from year 1991.
Okay.
And initially I was performing the routine cataract surgery that was prevalent those days, called extracapsular cataract surgery. Then we moved on and we started performing manual phaco, which is now known as small incision cataract surgery. I think I was one of the first few surgeons in South India to have adopted this technique and given live demonstration. And from 1993 October onwards, I have been performing the new technique of cataract surgery called phacoemulsification, which is no longer new, but at that time it was just coming to the country.
Okay.
And I mean, I did my first case on 28th October 1993, and subsequently have done about 35 to 40,000 surgeries by the same technique.
Okay.
And we recently have moved on. I personally have not been doing it, but the femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery, this is the thing which is really becoming, a lot of people are talking about this particular technology, and it has started coming to India. And I also am planning to start using this technology for my cataract patients. Many of us feel that the femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery is expensive, and it does not really give us better results than the conventional phacoemulsification with IOL surgery. This technology has to improve, but I feel in times to come, once this technology has improved and sorted out all the drawbacks that or pitfalls which are present with this technique today, things will become much better for the patients.
Okay. So could you explain to a layman what cataract is?
Normally, we have a lens inside the eye, like you have in a camera. With part of aging, as process of aging, this particular lens becomes opacified.
Okay.
It starts initially at a very early opacity. That time the patient may just have glares or halo. When they look at sources of light, they may see, a halo around the source of light. They may find it difficult to drive in the night time or look at bright lights. That are the initial symptoms. And subsequently, of course, when the cataract or when this opacity becomes a little more advanced, the vision starts coming down. So patient complains that he or she is not able to read or not able to look at the distance, that the bus numbers and traffic signs, etc., etc. And then a stage comes where he feels he is visually handicapped, and so that is cataract. That is the normal senile cataract, which is not a disease as such. It is part of the aging process. Like for example, with aging, the skin wrinkles, the hair turns gray, and a lot of things take place. Like that in the eye, within the lens, within the crystalline lens, this is a process of opacification, which goes along with the aging process.
Okay. What are the treatment options for cataract?
So actually, I mean, there have been many treatment options for cataract surgery for cataract today. The one that is very popular all over the world is phacoemulsification. This actually was started in the late 1960s by Dr. Kelman from USA, from New York. And then it had its own problems, learning curve, and the machine was not well developed, and there are complications. But as we have got to understand the process more, and as the industry have evolved and given us better technology, the phacoemulsification has become the standard of care in cataract surgery today. So what basically is done is we make a small incision into the eye, which varies in size from 2 millimeters to 2.8 millimeters. And through that incision, the lens matter is removed from the eye. It is sort of aspirated, or it is sucked out of the eye. And once that is done, then an intraocular lens is kept inside the eye. I'll be talking to you more about the lens later on. There are other types of cataract surgery which are quite popular in the developing world, where finances is an important consideration. This is called small incision cataract surgery,
Okay.
where we make a little larger incision compared to phaco, compared to phacoemulsification. Incision size is about 5.5 to 6 or 6.5 millimeters. Here we do not use the machine, we just use instruments, innovative instruments, to take the important or the hard part of the cataract out of the eye, and then once the part of the rest of the opacity is removed from the eye, an intraocular lens is kept inside the eye. So this is called small incision cataract surgery, SICS, and this has been extremely popular in our country. For example, for patients who are in the outreach programs, who cannot afford phacoemulsification, and in certain situations where phacoemulsification may not be very safe. For example, a patient who has got a very hard opacity, very hard cataract. We call it red cataract, black cataract or red cataract.
Okay.
In those situations, small incision cataract surgery perhaps may be a little better than the conventional or traditional phacoemulsification. Small incision cataract surgery is also becoming popular in the Western world. And for example, Western Europe or USA, there are a lot of training programs where I participate in the wet lab, where I find that there has been an increasing, interest, increasing popularity of the small incision cataract surgery, which actually was started which we have been developing, which has evolved, and we have used in large numbers in our country.
Okay.
So these are the two types of cataract surgeries that are prevalent today. Earlier on, of course, before these technologies came, we used to use a technique called intracapsular cataract extraction, where a cryoprobe was used to convert the lens into an ice ball, and that was removed from inside the eye. So that required a very large incision. We had to put sutures for those incisions, and gradually they have fallen out of favor because there's newer, more sophisticated techniques which helps us to do a better cataract surgery with less number of complications during surgery and less number of complications after surgery. Once these techniques have become popular, ICC have really gone out and nobody really does it. And as I mentioned earlier, femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery is becoming popular. I won't say that everybody has adopted it. Very few people have really adopted it because of various reasons. But this technique definitely, I feel, is a technique for the future because it uses a laser for performing all the steps of the cataract surgery. Right from the point where you make the entries inside the eye, the incision, opening into the cataract, which is much more controlled, which is much more circular and much more well-centered, and removing the nucleus, and softening up the nucleus before the nucleus is removed with phacoemulsification technique.
Okay.
So there are a lot of pitfalls at present associated with this technology. For example, there are issues to be sorted out with incisions. There are issues to be sorted out with the capsular axis, which most of us feel are perhaps better, more well-centered than the traditional way of opening making a circular opening in the anterior capsule, and then softening up the nucleus. This technology is pretty expensive now, and only few companies are dealing with it. So I think the technology has to evolve further to get rid of, to overcome these hurdles. The cost of the machine perhaps will have to come down so that most of the surgeons, cataract surgeons, can adopt this technique and pass on the benefit to the deserving patients.
Okay. So now could you just tell us what are the types of IO lenses?
Yeah. So far I have spoken to you about how the cataract is removed, but that is only part of the game. The patient has to see well after cataract surgery, and that is possible today by implanting an intraocular lens inside the eye. In an earlier era, we used to perform intracapsular surgery where we used to give very thick glasses to the patients, phakic glasses, plus 10 diopter glasses, and they were having a lot of problems cosmetically, functionally, It was not good. Patients were not very comfortable with it. So today, with the current techniques of surgery, we have reduced the size of the incision, and we are able to implant a foldable lens inside the eye. Earlier on, when the technology was not very well developed, the IOL technology, we are using the rigid lenses, which were 5.5 to 6 millimeters in size, which was kept inside the eye, and that gave relatively good vision to the patients. But then again, the incision was larger, and patients had complications, had problems, had issues because of the large size of the incision. So gradually, with the advent of the foldable lenses, we have been able to shrink the size of the incision, and today we are able to insert a lens inside the eye through an opening as small as 1.8 to 2 millimeters in size. It goes up to about 2.8 millimeters in size. So these are the foldable lenses. Among the foldable lenses also, there are different categories: the biomaterials, the materials which go into constitute the optic of the lens, the main active optic of the lens. Initially, we had a silicone, which was doing pretty well, but because of certain issues, that went into oblivion, that became unpopular. And today, we are using hydrophilic acrylic or hydrophobic acrylic lenses. These are the polymers which are used to construct the lens, and these lenses are pretty well tolerated. So basically, this is in a nutshell about the standard lenses we are using for our patients. These are monofocal lenses.
Okay.
Monofocal lenses means a patient is able to see normally up to the last line without glasses for distance, last line in the vision testing drum. Patient will require an additional power to read. Unlike in the young age where we can look at the distance with a great degree of clarity and we can even read. With advancing age, this feature gradually goes away, and any person, any individual above the age of 35 to 40 will require glasses for reading. So this is called presbyopia. After cataract surgery with a monofocal lens, we are recreating presbyopia. So patient will require glasses for reading. So technology has again helped us in this direction by giving us a multifocal lens. Multifocal lens basically are bifocal lenses, so that the objects which are at the distance, at the infinity, more than 6 meters in distance, are focused into a retina. So patients are able to see well at the distance without any aids, without any glasses. Patients are also able to read at a close distance. But again, patient may have to be given glasses for the intermediate distance. And so this is basically a bifocal lenses. So we don't really claim that these multifocal lenses enable you to discard the glasses altogether. But what we tell our patients is it will reduce your dependence on glasses.
Okay.
Which effectively means you will be able to go on with your daily activities most of the time without using any additional glasses. These are the multifocal lenses.
Okay.
These lenses are doing pretty well. It has again a downside to it compared to the standard monofocal lens. Multifocal lens have all these advantages I have just enumerated, but these lenses are also associated with a higher incidence of issues like optical phenomena like glare. Patient can see glare. A patient can see halos around light source. Sometimes the contrast function, for example, if it is an artist for whom in the color contrast and the different shades of the color, they're very important. We will be hesitant to use those lenses, multifocal lenses, in these eyes because of the functions, because these lenses affect the contrast function of the eye. So basically, these are the lenses which are very popularly used in the world, including our country.
Okay. So what are the complications that may happen once a cataract surgery is over?
This is a question which we as ophthalmologists face from our patients quite often. But first thing we tell them that cataract surgery has improved so much that unlike in the previous days where patient had to be on absolute bed rest, and sometimes cataract surgery was tantamount to patient becoming blind, those days are gone and results have become much, much better. The chances of complications are almost not there if the surgery has been performed well. However, sometimes a patient may have additional problem in addition to the cataract, where the chances of complications may be higher. For example, when a patient delays the cataract surgery because of some reason or the other, the cataract becomes hard. So, removal of a hard cataract is associated with a higher incidence of complications. So we tell the patients that please do not wait till the cataract has become mature, till the cataract has become hard. Come at an early stage where you are visually handicapped, you are not able to do your daily activities the way you are doing earlier. But if you can come now for surgery, the results are pretty good. Surgery is simpler, and there are hardly any complications. Now, if I have to talk about complications after the surgery, I think the nightmare, the cataract surgeon's nightmare, I would put it that way, is infection. Infection can result in loss of the patient's eyesight, and not only eyesight, even the eye, if it is a very severe infection. But we take all kinds of precautions during surgery. We use antibiotic drops before surgery. We use antibiotic drops in the eye during the surgery. All the instruments are absolutely sterile. They are autoclaved, and we make sure that there's nothing that is used in the operation theater on the trolley, sterile trolley, that is unsterile.
Okay.
And everything there are some reusable instruments there. They're all autoclaved, and the incidence of infection definitely has come down drastically after cataract surgery.
Okay.
I think this is the major complication that I tell my patient about. There are many other complications can happen if you give an injection to the patient. There may be complications related to the injection, but not related to the surgery, where the eye can be damaged by the injection needle.
Okay.
We try to do most of the surgery without the injection. We do it under topical anesthesia, which means we just put some anesthetic eye drops into the eye and then ask the patient to look at the light and then do the surgery pretty comfortably.
Okay. Doctor, that was nice talking to you. Thanks a lot for being a part of our program.
Thank you.
So that was Dr. Arup Chakravarti with us. Until we meet next time, this is me, Naina, signing off. Take care.